Ladies and gentlemen, it's a big, weird, wild world out there, folks, and here we stand. Al pie del cañón, ready for anything. I'm Rob, that's Dan, and you're listening to...
The ProBoh Show!
Good morning, everyone, on this Wednesday. How are you doing out there, folks? It is Wednesday, the 26th of August, 2026. Dan's least favourite day. How are you doing in there, Dan?
I'm doing fine.
Soldiering on. Yeah, we've only got a week, right, until everyone gets back. 2 weeks to enjoy a nice quiet office. Oh, friends. And how are you guys doing out there? Our wonderful live audience. Again, you can join them live on twitch.tv/professional bohemian. That's twitch.tv/bohemio profesional. Pero en inglés. Of course, you can interact with the show outside of our live times. You do that on my Instagram, which is also at Professional Bohemian. Or if you're extra specially cool, sexy, charming, handsome, you join me on my Patreon, where you can vote on this week's topics. As this is a topic you voted on that we're going to do today. Of course, Dan, right? We all know this. All the topics this week are about socialism. Oh, Dan, the setup. Shall we take two? Oh, wait. Are we ready, Dan? No, he's not ready. Oh, Daniel, what is happening in there? So, yeah, that's a topic for this week's discussions. Today's 100 humans. We asked them to name someone who has the power to improve your life. Nombra a alguien que tiene el poder de mejorar tu vida. And today's unpopular opinion, it's a tough one. Billionaires, los multimillonarios, billionaires create more opportunities than politicians. Los multimillonarios crean más oportunidades que los políticos. That's today's unpopular opinion. Dan, do we have the sound? Yeah, okay. As you know, I asked you all to vote on topics about socialism. Thank you, Dan. Hey, mejor tarde que nunca, man. Better late than never. All right, so that's today's topics. Let's see who's joining us live in the audience right now. We have the wonderful Vero. She says, "Good morning, beautiful bohemians around the universe and beyond. R.I.P. Dolly Parton." We will get that. We will get to that soon. Mike is here. "Good morning, dear bohemians. R.I.P. the Queen of Country, Dolly Parton. We honour her by working 9 to 5. Yeah, working 9 to 5. Do you know that song, Dan?
Yes.
Yeah, it's essentially Das Kapital by Karl Marx, but the country music version. I actually saw a really funny post on Reddit today that I posted to my Instagram. Anyway, yeah, but we will talk about Dolly Parton, of course. The bridge is here. "Good morning, my beautiful Bonnie Bouncy Bohemians and Bonnie Bouncy Bob and darling dashing dandy Dan the radio man. I shall be leaving the crushing to others." Oh, someone's making a breakfast today. Ask them to make us some. What do you want for breakfast, Dan?
Nothing.
Pantomaca?
No, I don't.
No, he doesn't want anything. I'll have a pantomaca, please. I'll be doing thin soup and Aquarius today. She did share with us yesterday she was having a colonoscopy, so I'm not going to ask that. I don't think I want to know at 8:30 a.m. on a Wednesday morning. Eugene says, "Hi guys, it's so warm and sunny here, so I'm at the beach." Oh, Eugene. Well, it's nice here today, to be honest with you. Like, for Madrid temperatures, it's incredibly clement. 17 degrees outside. Pleasant to be outside walking. Cold for some, I imagine. Reaching highs of 29 degrees later in the day. So, yeah, for me, a perfect temperature. Long lie-in and black coffee, says the bridge. All yours. Okay, wonderful. We like that. Oportunidades. What did I say? Did I pronounce it wrong, Dan?
I think you pronounced it well.
Okay. Well, you and Vero can have a fist fight later and figure out who was right. Definitely dexterously deficient, Dan. says says the bridge. No, he was trying desperately to find the sound effects, and then Fitz walked in and disturbed him. It is, after all, his least favourite day. Yeah, that's it. It's the curse of Wednesday, Dan. I think it's the auto-suggestion, man. Because you hate Wednesday. Wednesday hates you right back. Más vale tarde que nunca is more native. Oh, what did I say? Yeah, better late than never. The correct translation, of course. Thanks, Mike. You're going to get a nivelazo. Is Más vale tarde que nunca.
Vaya nivelazo.
And Carmen's with us as well. She says, Dear Bohemians, good morning. Good morning, one and all. Let's, with no further delay, let's just get to the news, shall we? Dolly Parton. Do you know Dolly Parton? You're aware of her?
Just 2 songs.
Just 2 songs. Probably 9 to 5 and Jolene.
Yes.
Okay. And I Will Always Love You. She wrote that as well. I will always love you. Not a massive fan of Dolly Parton's music, I will say. Although working 9 to 5, as I said before, it's Karl Marx's Das Kapital. But for novices, and I love that. But Jolene is a work of genius. I love that song. Many songwriting accolades. But I love Dolly Parton, not for her music, but for a more philanthropic, altruistic work. She seems to have been one of the rare examples of a pure force for good on this planet. And it makes me sad, man. It makes me sad. That she passed away at the age of 80 after fighting a short fight with cancer. Poor woman. Vero says, you said it right, Rob. I just wanted to help you with the por part. Oportunidades. Thank you. All right. So yeah, let's get into. I did find an article from the Guardian today, but I'll probably expand on it a little bit. Dolly Parton, country star, actor, and philanthropist, dies aged 80 after fighting cancer. Dolly Parton, estrella del country, actriz y filántropa, muere a los 80 años tras luchar contra el cáncer. Oh, actually, cáncer, you would say, right? Dolly Parton's story was bigger than music. Yeah, again, I'm not a massive fan of her music. Jolene, I think, is a seminal work. Really, really great. And, okay, I Will Always Love You generated a lot of money, didn't it? I'm not a particular fan of that song. But, yeah, she was clearly a very, very nice person. She rose from poverty in a one-room cabin in Tennessee to become one of country music's defining artists, writing classics like Jolene, I Will Always Love You, and 9 to 5, while building a career that crossed into pop, film, television, and business. Funny, when I was young, when I was a little boy, Dan, she did a movie with Sylvester Stallone. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, she did. It's called Rhinestone. And she tries to turn just an ordinary Joe into a country music star. And when I was a kid, I loved that damn movie. It was that and Ghostbusters. So yeah, oh man, this makes me so sad. I mean, again, not so much for losing the actress in some limited capacity or the musician in a grand capacity, but really just because she seemed to be such a nice, wholesome force for good on the planet. Her legacy was not only measured in #1 singles, Grammy Awards, or movie roles. Through Dollywood and the Dollywood Foundation and the Imagination Library, she turned her success into something practical, giving millions of children access to books and supporting education, healthcare, disaster relief, and medical research. Parton's life was a rare combination of talent, humor, ambition, and generosity. She became a star without losing the emotional connection to where she came from, and she leaves behind a legacy that belongs as much to the children she helped, the communities she supported, and the causes she funded, as it does to country music. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you. I saw this news this morning at like 5 a.m. and I had to stop what I was doing. I maybe took half an hour just to let that sink in. And I am not the kind of person, Dan, I'll be honest with you. When a celebrity dies, I'm pretty pragmatic about it. Well, that's sad that they won't be working anymore. But, yeah, no, I didn't know them personally. I'm sorry. I just have to be honest. You're laughing at me, but it's true.
No, I'm laughing at the phrase, to be sincere.
Which phrase?
I'm sad that they are not working anymore.
If I'm a fan, like when Robin Williams died, I was like, oh, damn, no more Robin Williams movies. But because I didn't know the guy personally, I I didn't go through a period of grieving. But for at least half an hour today, this morning, drinking my coffee, I just sat in silence with the dogs. Just like, oh, man. Like, why was Dolly such an important person? Well, she founded the Dollywood Foundation. She founded that, I believe, in 1988 to support education, literacy, community development in her native East Tennessee. She created the Buddy program, offering 7th and 8th grade students $500 each if they paired up and supported one another and both completed high school. The initiative helped reduce the local dropout rate. She established the Dolly Parton Scholarship, providing financial assistance to graduating students from high school in Sevier County. She launched Dolly Parton's Imagination Library in 1995. The program sends free age-appropriate books every month to children participating from birth to age 5, regardless of family income. It has distributed hundreds of millions of books internationally. She created My People Fund after the devastating 2016 Great Smoky Mountain wildfires. More than 900 families who lost their homes received regular payments with approximately $9 million distributed during the first 6 months. Donated an additional $200,000 to volunteer fire departments. I could stop. I'm not going to. Personally donated $1 million to Vanderbilt University Medical Center in 2020 for COVID-19 research. She donated $1 million to Vanderbilt in 2022 to fund research into serious infectious diseases affecting children. She supported children's hospitals, contributed to relief efforts following floods and other natural disasters, established a bald eagle sanctuary at Dollywood. Man, the more I read, the more sad I get. When you consider that people who achieve great fame, most people, because Dolly was the exception, when they achieve great fame and power, they contribute primarily to their own wallets and their own bank accounts. It's like the more you get, the more you need. And Dolly was not that. It appears, anyway, Anyway, look at that. We spent the whole morning, I think appropriately, talking about Dolly Parton. So let's move on to today's unpopular opinion.
Unpopular opinion.
Which I've got to be honest, what I've just said about Dolly Parton makes it very hard to argue where I'm going to argue today. So, today's unpopular opinion on the topic, I'm going to do this really slowly for Dan, on the topic of socialism. Are you listening to Rock FM in there?
No, but I'm not prepared to.
I know. I'm just giving you a hard time, Dan. That's how British men should express their love to other British men. You know this. We pick on them a little bit. Anyway, so today's unpopular opinion. The third in our series of socialism discussions. Billionaires create more opportunities than politicians. Los multimillonarios crean más oportunidades. Thank you, Vero. Que los políticos. How do you think they voted on Instagram, Dan?
I think they voted true.
They did vote true. 89% of people voted true. I imagine you're a true as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, given the amount of how highly it's weighted. I'll be honest with you, I have a foot in the true column too. But that's not my job here today, especially when 89% of people vote true. I feel compelled to mix in a little bit of nuance. Okay. Oh, hang on, wait. We're getting some messages about Dolly here before we can get into it. I loved it when she sang Vaccine in the Jolene melody to encourage people to get the jab. Vaccine, 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 vaccine. I'm begging of you, please don't take my man. I didn't know she did that, but bless her heart. Anyway, so yeah, I'm here to offer nuance. So you're probably asking yourself, well, how is it even possible that politicians create more opportunities than multi-millionaires or billionaires? And the bridge is reminding me here that there's the mistake, Rob. Dan isn't British. Yes, he doesn't understand the cultural thing that British men pick on each other. You know. Anyway, so let's get into it. To offer some nuance to this this argument that you guys seem to believe, I think a strong argument against the fact that billionaires create more opportunities than politicians is that possibly it confuses creating opportunities for particular people with creating the conditions that make opportunity possible at scale. Like a billionaire can open a factory or fund a startup, hire thousands of people, or invest in a new technology. Those opportunities are very visible, you see. It's concrete. It's easy to attribute to one person. Well, look, Elon Musk opened up this data center or opened up this Tesla factory. Politicians, though, through government, help determine whether there are functioning roads to build those buildings on, ports for trade, educated workers, reliable electricity, enforceable contracts, property rights, universities, telecommunications, financial regulation, public health systems, and enough social stability for businesses to operate at all. Right? Think of it this way. Billionaires create rooms. Politicians design the buildings in which those rooms sit. Right? A billionaire might employ 50,000 people, but a government decision to introduce universal secondary education can alter the economic possibilities of an entire generation of kids. Building a railway can contribute to thousands of businesses that nobody planned in advance. Creating the internet funded the basic scientific research, or establishing a reliable legal system can generate opportunities for millions of people decades later. And there's an important asymmetry there. Government can create opportunities where there is no obvious private profit for doing so, which makes what government does, I think, a little more invisible than what a billionaire might do. Educating a child in a poor neighborhood, building infrastructure in an unprofitable rural area, funding basic research with no immediate commercial application, or giving someone access to healthcare so they can remain economically active. I mean, I think it leads to a more provocative argument, actually. Billionaires are often very good at capturing opportunities created by society. Politicians, though, they can change who gets to have opportunities in the first place. Like, consider the difference, Dan, between Steve Jobs creating Apple and a government making university access available to millions. Right? Jobs created an extraordinary number of opportunities around one company and one ecosystem. Education policy potentially produces millions of future Steve Jobses, millions of future engineers, nurses, entrepreneurs, employees. And those eventual careers cannot easily be credited to the politician who helped make them possible, right? So it's a little more invisible, the role of government. And that's partly why the billionaire argument feels instinctively strong. Of course, billionaires create more opportunities than politicians. I mean, private opportunity has a face, doesn't it? That face can be, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, But public opportunity disappears into the background. You know who founded Amazon, but you probably don't know the names of the politicians who approved the roads that its vans drive on, or the public research behind the technology it uses, the schools that educated its employees, the legal institutions that allow strangers to exchange money with a company they trust and deliver something tomorrow. I mean, I can't name those politicians. But of course, we can all name Jeff Bezos. So it may, on the surface, it's easy to see why everyone says, yeah, but it's the billionaires, they're doing everything. Let's get into the pros and cons. You are right, Dan. In the face of what I've just said, most people did vote true today. 89%. I don't know if that shifted a little bit while I was talking. So let's dig into the pros. Entrepreneurs create new economic activity. Successful founders and investors can build companies, industries, products, and supply chains that did not previously exist. Those businesses can create jobs, careers, customers, and entirely new markets in a way political institutions often struggle to do directly. Again, I think we're forgetting here, like billionaires don't, or very rarely create those opportunities alone. You know, their companies depend on educated workers, right? Private infrastructure, legal systems, educated populations, and often publicly funded research. And guess what? They didn't fund it. Private capital can move faster. Wealthy individuals can invest large sums of money without waiting for elections, legislative compromise, or bureaucratic approval. That speed can allow them to fund new technologies, businesses, and projects before governments have even agreed on the problem. The main issue I have with that argument is it assumes that speed is an advantage. Democratic processes are slower, partly because public decisions affect everyone and therefore require a certain amount of scrutiny, don't they? Accountability. And you need to analyze competing interests. They need to be considered. Business success can multiply opportunity. A growing company does not merely enrich its owner. It can create suppliers, competitors, investors, professional services, training, and opportunities for employees who later start businesses of their own. One successful enterprise can produce an ecosystem around it. Yeah, all right, but some businesses concentrate markets rather than expand opportunities, don't they? Especially when we're talking about billionaires. Look at the chokehold Amazon has. Well, we were talking about Amazon over the online selling market. Dominant firms buy competitors. They don't necessarily create them. They suppress wages, control platforms, make it harder for small businesses to even survive. Walk down your high street and ask yourself if there is as many privately owned businesses on the high street as there was when you were a child. And you have your answer there about how many opportunities these billionaires and these mega corporations are creating. Let's do one more. Billionaires can fund experiments governments avoid. Very wealthy people can take risks on ideas that are politically unpopular, technically uncertain, or too speculative for public budgets. Some failures will waste money, but successful experiments can open up areas that conventional institutions consider too risky. Yeah, okay, well, look, I hate to talk about Elon Musk here, but private experimentation reflects the preferences of a tiny number of individuals. I'm not going to bring him up. Society may end up dedicating enormous resources to the interests of billionaires, while more important but less glamorous problems remain neglected. Anyway, let's get into the cons, shall we? Saying politicians create more opportunities than billionaires. Governments create the conditions in which opportunities exist. Businesses depend on roads, electricity, courts, public property rights, schools, university, public safety, communication networks, and stable institutions. Politicians may not create every individual job, but public policy builds much of the environment in which private enterprise becomes possible. I'm going to have to shoot through the next couple. Governments can provide education, healthcare, disability support, transport, and infrastructure to people who are not profitable customers. These interventions can expand opportunity precisely where the market would otherwise leave people behind. And I think the final point we'll make in the con column, where only 11% of people voted today. Public policy reaches people, markets ignore. Oh no, we read that one. A billionaire can create thousands of jobs, but a government can change labour law, tax policy, education, immigration rules, competition policy, or access to credit for an entire population. That kind of structural change can affect opportunity on a scale no individual company can match. Those are your pros and cons, my friends. Do write more comments. As always, I will be getting to read your comments after the break. It's a tough one today. I'm asking you to maybe take a bit of a leap. Billionaires create more opportunities than politicians. True or false? Los multimillonarios crean más oportunidades que los políticos. On the surface, I think it's easy to say billionaires. But when you look under the hood, when you put it under a microscope, I think you might find the opposite might be true. But you tell me. All right, friends, we're going to take a quick commercial break. I'll see you in just a few minutes. Hey guys, if you'd like to support the show, you can do so on Patreon. That's patreon.com/professional bohemian. There you'll find VODs of the episodes as they are recorded live, blogs, vlogs, and behind the scenes content. If you'd like to watch the show live, you can do so on twitch.tv/professional bohemian, and you can participate in the polls we use in the show on Instagram @professional bohemian or Twitter @ProBoh, PROBOH. Okay, on with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. You're joining us live at 9 a.m. Central European Time. It's, of course, me and Dan on this glorious Wednesday. A sad Wednesday, a Wednesday of mourning. For me, I'm not sure about for Dan. Yeah, I'm more. Are you sad about Dolly, Dan? Yeah, I suppose it's maybe not so much of a big fan, possibly, or a bit more ambivalent than me.
I mean, I'm sad, but I'm not.
Yeah, I get you, man. I get you. That's usually the way I am with most celebrities when they pass. I'm going to be honest with you. It sounds a little bit cold, but you know, I'm kind of pragmatic when it comes to this kind of thing. You know, well, I didn't know them, so it's sad that I won't get to see any more of their work or new work from them. But because I wasn't so much of a fan of her music, and I can name exactly one movie she was in that I was a fan of when I was a little kid, and it's probably aged like vinegar. It makes me sad because I know all the good she was doing in the world. I mean, look, that's not to, who knows what they're going to come out with in the future. But I up until now, from what we know, she was just an amazing force for good on the planet. And and it just makes me damn sad. Yeah, this is the news, of course, that the amazing philanthropist, one of the most altruistic people on the planet, Dolly Parton, also, incidentally, she was a country star and an actor, died at the age of 80 after fighting cancer. And, it makes me sad. It makes me sad. You wouldn't probably think it, but it does. Famous, of course, for songs like Jolene, one that I did actually really adore, I Will Always Love You, and 9 to 5. So there you go. R.I.P. Dolly, you'll be missed. And then we moved into today's unpopular opinion, which is billionaires create more opportunities than politicians. I think despite my arguments today, I'm not going to do very well, but the vote is still live. You can go ahead and express your opinion there for the next 5 minutes. It will be live. Billionaires, los multimillonarios, crean más oportunidades que los políticos. I think in the first half of the show, I made a big deal of kind of trying to have you understand the visibility or the increased visibility of what billionaires do in comparison to what governments do, and the fact that all that public infrastructure used by billionaires wasn't created by them. How old were you in 2012, Dan? That would have been 15 years. Oh, you'd have been like
8 years.
8 years old. Jeez, never mind. I remember pretty clearly when Obama was running in the 2012 election, and he said something that was so combustible that the media just freaked out. Can anyone in the chat remember what Barack Obama said in Roanoke, Virginia in 2012 that was So combustible, it almost wrecked his campaign. It's funny that we're talking about this today because I've actually recorded a podcast and this features in it, this quote. He said, he was actually making a point about public infrastructure, you know, roads and support and education and all the things that create the infrastructure, create the means for people to have these opportunities to create successful businesses. He was talking about all the public money and all the investment that happens to create the fertile ground for businesses in which to grow. But he said something that was really politically clumsy. It was clumsily put. He said, in direct quotes, "If you've got a business, you didn't build that. Somebody else made that happen." But if you actually listen, sorry, that's not a very good impression. But if you actually listen to the whole clip, he actually explains before that politically clumsy statement. Yeah, nobody got it. 2012 was my coma year, so I'm slightly fuzzy. Yeah, it's no worries, Bridge. If you listen to the whole thing, he's talking about, he's saying that individual initiative matters, but success happens because we do things together. And that togetherness is what governments do. You know, they create that fertile ground for businesses to grow and flourish. Ask yourself the question, would Amazon have grown in another country at the speed and rapidity it did in the US? Possibly not. You know? Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of where we were going. I mean, is this debate really about creating opportunity directly, or is it about creating conditions for opportunity, which I think is less sexy and less visible, but it's the job of government. Creating opportunities directly is very sexy, very front page. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg. You know, you've got someone to point to. But again, you can't point to the roads that they use, can you? And who you know helped build those. Billionaires are visible because their contribution can take concrete form: a company, a factory, a technology, a job offer. Political contribution is less visible because it appears as infrastructure, law, education, stability, institutions. When those systems work well, people barely notice them, right? Of course, all we can remember is when politics goes wrong, which makes us primed when a debate like billionaires create more opportunities than governments do. It makes us primed to say, oh, no, wrong, billionaires. Because when everything's working well, no one's getting a pat on the back. Politics or governments are only criticized when things go wrong, usually. And the question also depends on what counts as an opportunity, doesn't it? I mean, a new job is obviously an opportunity. That's one opportunity that a billionaire will create, a job. But also, let's not mistake, like a good education is a good opportunity, right? Having reliable transport, it's a good opportunity. Being healthy or healthy enough to work, it's an opportunity. Living under rules that allow small businesses to compete with a dominant corporation is an opportunity. Not happening right now, sadly. Private enterprise and public institutions create different layers of the same opportunity, is what I'm getting at. And quite often the opportunity that we recognize is job. Again, we conflate so many things with employment. It's unbelievable to me. But opportunities is a healthy body. It's a good education. It's the freedom to speak and express your ideas. All these things are opportunities that billionaires have no control over. So it's a tough one today. All right, the vote appears to have closed. Oh, my friends. It's quite predictable, but never mind. Dan, did we shift your needle at all now the poll is closed?
Not really.
Not really. He's still very much on the side of the billionaires. Okay. All right, let's take a look at what people have been saying here. Sorry, I waxed lyrical a little longer than usual today. Me and my waffling. Let's have a look. Where are we? In the chat. True. And they create less wars, says Eugene. Yeah, okay. I mean, that's assuming... Yeah, okay. I mean, Eugene, your perspective is usually so unique for people here in Europe, because Eugene obviously joins us from Russia. Not a big fan, I think it's accurate to say, of the regime in Russia, particularly the conflict going on with Ukraine right now. Yeah, I mean, politicians. I mean, they're different across the board, aren't they? It's, yeah, okay. I mean, look, I'm going to put my hands up and say, fine, okay, they don't create wars. But look, a lot of businesses will treat war as opportunity. Lockheed Martin making missiles. They're not politicians. It's a business, right? The people that go in after a war to rebuild devastated nations, usually, Again, I don't want to too heavily criticize America because people have been telling me I'm starting to sound very anti-American recently. But quite often, let's like not completely unlink private enterprise from war profiteering, because I think that would be a mistake. You know why Fanta exists? Do you know why Fanta exists, Dan?
I think it's something about fascism.
Yeah, it's so Coca-Cola could still sell soft drink to the Nazis. It's Nazi Coke. Let's not unlink completely private enterprise from war profiteering. Anyway, Bridge says, hearing you argue that speed is not necessarily an advantage reminds me strongly of Sir Humphrey. Yeah, of course, like, democratic process moves slowly, and purposefully slowly, I might add, because the idea is that every possible angle is considered before making a decision that will affect a lot of people. Good. You know? Good. Measure twice, cut once. Medir dos veces y cortar una vez. Rather than just snip into a paper over and over again until you eventually hit the line, right? Vero says, true, billionaires are the ones who have the money to create the tools to improve society. If people trusted politicians enough to change their lives, the world would be a utopia. Yeah, it's hard to make this argument, because I knew where you were all going to come from today. It's hard to make this argument because, yeah, I know how disillusioned most of us are around politics. Look, hell, I'm kind of disillusioned myself. But I'm not here to 100% express my opinions as I feel them. I'm here to introduce nuance into everyone's thought process. That's what this show is about. And looking at it very pragmatically, I think, again, this is another example, as we saw the other day, of how we mix up or we tie things to employment or we're giving money more emotional work than money is qualified to have, right? Opportunity is more than just work. Health is opportunity. Being healthy is an opportunity. Being educated, whether that's in a public or private institution, being educated is an opportunity. Let's see. Let me continue on. 2012, do politicians really create all these things, or do they just legislate? I mean, legislation creates the fertile ground for creation to happen, doesn't it? Or do they make money to finance everything? I mean, you pay taxes, don't you? Well, tomorrow we've got a really interesting 100 humans. So I don't want to kind of talk too much about this, because I think it's going to be interesting to see what you have to say about taxation. Mike says, I'd agree more if we said politics makes opportunities possible, but they don't create them. Not even Obama. Yeah. Yeah, okay. And that's, you know what, can we give Mike a ProBoh approved? That's a good one.
ProBoh approved.
It's true, because if we look at the wording, billionaires create more opportunities than politicians. If the argument was billionaires make more opportunities possible than politicians, then perhaps I'd have a stronger argument here. Again, you guys, dudes, you're amazing. I hope you guys find this as emotionally or intellectually stimulating as I do to present, because quite often I come in here, quite often I'm preparing arguments that I don't 100% believe in, and I think you guys know that. I'm usually trying to play a counterbalance to what people vote on Instagram. But quite often I come in here with an idea, and reading what you guys say, my idea shifts and changes over the course of the duration of the show. What's the point in having a mind if you're not willing to change it? That's the whole ethos of today, of all the programs that we make. Bridge says, Sir Humphrey was the king of creative inertia. Lots of activity, but nothing actually happening. All right, should we get to the results? Oh no, we should read some comments from Instagram. I won't read too many because we're running out of time. Felix Baumann says, I can see the argument. Successful businesses can create thousands of jobs and entire industries without waiting for an election cycle. Again, I think a job is one kind of opportunity. And I can point to many, many others. Like, again, healthy body, good education, good public transport infrastructure to increase mobility. An opportunity is not just the employment, is it? Nadine, good public education. I don't know. There's more to opportunity than just employment. Employment is a big one, don't get me wrong, but Nadine Walsh says, those businesses depend on roads, schools, laws, infrastructure, and stable institutions. Politicians help create the conditions that make those opportunities possible. Again, to play devil's advocate, what Mike said, that isn't necessarily the argument, is it? Creating opportunities and creating the ground for opportunities to be possible. Maybe it is. Maybe we're having just a semantic argument there. Maybe it is. Maybe Nadine's right. Stefano says, a billionaire can transform one industry. A good government can transform the opportunities available to an entire generation. Yeah. But, okay, here we go. If I'm going to play devil's advocate here, governments can also restrict opportunities in a major way. Like, university education used to be free in the UK. And then in the 90s, it became you had to pay your own way through loans and things. That just robbed generations of people the opportunity to get into higher education. So the opposite can be true in a government, can't it? Sure, a billionaire can close a factory, but it's going to affect a couple of thousand people. Cutting off access to higher education for generations of poorer students affects generations, doesn't it? Stefano, yeah, we read that one. Marisol, hey Marisol, she says, it's a false choice. Entrepreneurs create opportunities through investment, while governments can create them through institutions and public services. Society needs both. Yeah, welcome to the show. Marisol, that's what the show's about. We create binary opportunities and ignore the shades of grey to force us to think a little harder about the things we take as read, right? Okay, interesting one today. Shall we get to the results of the poll? All right. The poll is, or the opinion is, billionaires, los multimillonarios. Billionaires create more opportunities than politicians. Los multimillonarios crean más oportunidades que los políticos. You guys said 67% true. Billionaires are often better at creating, I think, visible opportunities. I think that's where we came to today. Politicians are responsible for the invisible conditions that make those opportunities possible, right? But if we're talking about the creation of opportunities, even I struggle to honestly believe politicians do it more than billionaires or businesses, let's say. Private wealth can build the ladder, but public institutions influence who can reach it. Whether it's stable and whether one person is allowed to pull it up behind them, the real question is not who creates opportunities alone, but which balance of private ambition and public rules produces the most of it. It was an interesting conversation for me today, guys. I thank you so much for taking it seriously and giving me some good comments. I think we might let Mike have the last word in the chat. He says, nowadays, having a university degree doesn't necessarily guarantee a job. Yeah, true story. The playing field has changed. I actually like what they're doing in the UK right now. Andy Burnham adding or encouraging a lot more influence into trades, things like plumbers, carpentry, things like that. Realizing that higher education is not for everybody. Anyway, let's put this one behind us and move into today's 100 Humans. Oh my God. It was a long walk to work today across snow-capped mountains and through river valleys, and on that walk I encountered 100 humans and I asked them all a question. Today's question was, name someone who has the power to improve your life. Nombra a alguien que tiene el poder de mejorar tu vida. I asked them that question, they gave me their answers. I'm in possession of the top 7 answers. Job in the audience is to identify those top 7 answers, or people in this case. Big thank you to Tigre Devil, Carmen, Pilar, Juan Areo, Athuldan, Emily, Pedro, Anna Kasan, Ivan Samroff, Ivan GP, many others. Thank you. Dan, kick us off.
The president.
The president, prime minister, well, let's just say politician in general, right? Politico, is it there? Yes, it is, Dan. But quite tellingly, it's in 7th place. 7th place. Well done, Dan. Politician is there. 6 of 100 humans said that. Oh, no, sorry. 5 of 100 humans said that. Vero says oneself. As did about 90% of the people on Instagram. Well, Tigre Devil and Athel Dan both say me. So, Dan, just so you know, Tigre Devil and Athel Dan, those two have the power to improve my life and your life. Can you get busy? Dan wants more money, so do I. All right, is yourself there? I understood. Is yourself there? Yes, it is. Well done. And 28 of 100 humans said that. It's the number 1 answer. Well done. Tigre Devil, Pilar, that's all, folks. Athul, Dan, just many others who said me or yourself. Emily also said that. Let's see. Family. I can't give it to you. It says name someone, so I can't give it to you. Yeah, I'm going to be strict today because, Dan likes it. Dan likes it when I'm strict. Vero says friends. Again, that's not someone. Educators. Okay, if I'm going to accept educators, I have to accept family. Let's say parent. Is parent there? Yes, it is. Well done. All right, Vero, I'll give it to you. Parent is there. Sorry, Dan. Carmen says educators. So let's say teacher. Is a teacher, professor, profe there? Yes, it is. Well done. 6th most popular answer. 6 of 100 humans. Okay, let's see. What else do we have? An employer, your boss. Jefe, el jefe. Is boss there? Someone who will improve your life? Yes, it is. Well done. Or has the power to improve your life. Mike says therapist. Think about a therapist, but for your body, not for your brain. Okay, so and you'll have it. Personal trainer, good answer, but not there. Eugene says an astrologer. No. It's a simple answer to that. But a bunch of people here say on Instagram. My wife, says Juan Areo. Pedro says my wife. Ivan GP, my lover or lovers. It's funny how there's no women on here saying my husband or is a partner there. Pareja. Yes, it is. Well done. Number 2 answer. Okay, so a therapist helps your mind. Who helps your body, Dan? If it's not working.
Well, to be sincere, I was going to say a personal trainer, but you say that it was...
No, not a personal trainer. Like, my body's not working. I've got some kind of...
A doctor.
It's a doctor, Dan. Well done. Bridge, to be fair, did say her better half. A doctor is there. That's it, dude. You've completed today's 100 humans. Well done, guys. Let's go through the list. All right, I asked 100 humans. Nombra a alguien que tiene el poder de mejorar tu vida. Name someone who has the power to improve your life. In position number... A politician, un politico. 5 of 100 humans said that. In position number... We had teacher, professor. 6 of 100 humans said teacher. In position number 5, we had a doctor, doctor or medico. 9 of 100 humans. In position number 4, parent, a parent, padre, madre. 11 of 100 humans said that. Boss was in position number 3, with 12 of 100 humans saying boss, jefe. In position number 2, we had partner, pareja. 24 of 100 humans said that. And finally, in position number 1, with 28 of 100 humans, we have yourself. And under yourself, Athel, Dan, and Tigre Devil. Those guys in particular. No, yourself. Well done, guys. Thank you. I thoroughly enjoyed today's show. We've got another 2 shows left on this topic. Oh, Dan, are you ready? On this topic of socialism. And then I will post a new bunch of unpopular opinions for you guys to pick through. Find those on my Instagram. 11th of September, there is an open day. I'm hopefully on holiday that day, but there is an open day across all of our delegations all over Spain, so do look out for that. And stay tuned right now for the Iberians with Mr. Fitz and his friends, where we get a little insight into all things Irish culture. Friends, so many things you could have been doing today. An incredible number of things. An infinite number of things. But instead of doing those things, you took the time to spend some time with me and Dan, and it means the world. See you tomorrow.